What's going on, everybody? Welcome to the Prophecy Misfits Podcast. This is episode 274. Elohim technology, and so we've got some interesting things to talk about tonight for sure. You guys good to talk about some AI and the spirituality elements of it and all that type of stuff, because that's what we're going to be going over tonight. So I was sent an article from somebody, and yes, I do read articles and stuff that get sent to me, and I thought it was pretty interesting, and so I thought I would go ahead and go through this, and there's a lot that we can discuss when it comes to it regarding AI, its evolution, the spirituality of it, and all that type of stuff. So yeah, we got some interesting things to talk about tonight. But if this is their first time here, welcome in. This is what we do on Tuesdays and Saturdays. We get together and we watch for the signs of the return of our Lord and Savior Jesus Christ. We don't know exactly when he's going to come, but we will know the season of his return. We're called to watch for these things. We're called to watch for the construction of the Antichrist beast system. We're called to look for the signs of his return. Again, we don't know when that's going to happen. All the people who have these date-setting things and revelation from God and think that they can Da Vinci Code the Bible and figure these things out, they have no idea what they're talking about. And clearly, if that's the level of discernment and judgment that they have, makes you wonder what else they're off on. But no, we watch for the season. We just see what's going on, and that's what we do. And as Christians, as Bible-believing Christ followers, we should have hope. We should have hope when we see these things, for sure. So welcome in. Thank you guys for being here, and glad to have you. Glad to have you here. Yeah. How you guys doing? You guys doing all right? Everybody doing okay? I hope y'all are doing all right tonight. So let's see how y'all are doing in the chat tonight. So let's just go ahead, and I thought I'd go ahead and let's start right here. Fitz the Misfit Bear. So I've been working on something, trying to I don't know, fangle things together. Fitz the Misfit Bear is a little bot that I created, and you guys can talk to him. You can communicate with him. There are some things that you can say to him to get him to respond to you. You can say, "Hey Fitz," as long as you tag him. You can say, "Hey Fitz." You can, if you guys need to know my email, if you ask him contact or email, he will give that information to you. If you ask him about the ABCs, he will get back to you as well. And along the way, he'll be saying some things here and there, just to kind of have some fun and be a part of it. So, yeah. Welcome in, Fitz the Misfits Bear. So, yeah, just some fun stuff with that. So let's see how y'all are doing up in the chat. Let's see how everybody's doing. Let's see here. Let's start right here. Jojo by his grace. Is that you? No. Okay. So we just answered that question, Jojo. But glad to have you here. Thanks for being here. Hopefully you're doing all right tonight. Thanks for being here. Misfit Peanut Gallery is here. Peanut Gallery's here. Wind is getting pretty fierce here in Delaware. Yeah, there's some serious storms, tornadoes, flooding, all that type of stuff going on in the south, east, and the southern part, some of the eastern part, and a little bit into the Midwest. So be praying for those affected by that. It's not fun to be going through all that stuff. Not as World is here. Good to see you. Thanks for being here, especially since you been dealing with computer issues. Glad you are here for that. Let's see. Elena Victor, good to see you. I like your Charles Spurgeon. Well, thank you. Yeah, the Spurge. Yep. Thank you, Elena. Hopefully you're doing all right. Hopefully you had a good week. Thanks for being here on your Saturday. Rick is here as well. Good to see you, Rick. Thanks for being here, man. Hopefully you're doing all righty. Doing all righty. Doing all right. I can speak, I promise. Cheryl Vogel, too much red lighting. Can't make everybody happy. There's always something nobody likes about what I do. So if that's, sorry, can't help you. Glad to have you here, though, Cheryl. Joyce, good to see you. And thanks for being here. Hopefully you're doing all right. We got Diane Stevenson as well. Good evening from Oregon. Well, good to see you, Diane. And hopefully you're doing well. Hopefully you had a good week and you are resting and relaxing on this Saturday. Linda's here as well, saying hello to everybody. So everybody, please say hello to Linda. Good to see you. Let's see, Jackie Clausen. Good to see you, Jackie. Always glad to see you here, and hopefully you're doing all right tonight. Thanks for being here. Victoria is here as well. Good to see you, Victoria, and hopefully you're having a good weekend. And I know there's been a few people who have asked for fits. So that's cool. Good to see you, Victoria. Patrick is here. Good to see you. Hopefully you're doing all right. Please be nice to my tools. They do their best. Let's see. Endless talking point. Yeah, it's crazy. I just don't think we talk enough about the spirituality side of AI, personally, because there's so much advancement on the physical side of things, but there is the spirituality element. And so we're going to talk about that tonight. Sherry is here as well. Good to see you with the water elements. You got rain, you got wind, you got waves, and you got tornadoes. Yeah. Hopefully you're not dealing with too much of that, Sherry. Glad to have you here though. CS Miles, what happened to JD Frog coming up on your program? That's for the Shindig, March 15th. He will be here. That's what that is for. All the questions that we collected were for that event. Let's see. Paula Hawk is here as well. Good to see you, Paula. Thanks for being here. A whole bunch of hands, hand waving. Good to see you. Mindy Grant is here with the big pink hand. Good to see you, Mindy. Thanks for being here. Misfit Tina is here. Patrick, this AI junk is everywhere. Yes. You got Peanut the pug in the stroller. I just can't get past that. Good to see you, Tina. Thanks for being here. Joseph Pena Jalapena. Good to see you. We've had a lot of wins here this last week as well. Someone left I guess. Oh, I got it cut off. Hold on. That is my bad. I got to make sure that's. Hold on. Fix this on the fly. There we go. There we go. Got it. Had a lot of wins here this past week. Someone left the back door open. Yeah. Is that a place where there's a whole bunch of Taco Bell? That could be another one. Bad joke. We're going to go ahead and move on. Sherry is here as well. Good to see you, Sherry. Hopefully you're doing all right. Home in the heavens. Yeah, I cannot wait to go home. That's for sure. Rob Mills is here as well. Please, Lord Jesus, please come soon. Yes, please come soon. Rachel C. The two lights remind me of lightsabers. Yeah, not much of a Star Wars person myself, but I can see how you get that reference, Rachel. Adino is here. Good to see you. I'm not even going to try and pronounce your last name because it ain't going to happen. Good to see you, Dino. Thanks for being here. Hopefully you're doing all right. Melody is here as well. That too is Titus 2 Life is here as well. So good to see you, Pam Lange, one of those is here. Good to see you, Pam. Glad you're here. Over on the Rumble side, who we got? We got In His Image Katie over there. Good to see you, Katie. We got Belly Rumble with the cat bobbing his head. Yeah, it's good stuff. Good to see you, Belly Rumble. First time here. Well, welcome in, Belly. Glad to have you here. Michelle, I think that's how you pronounce that. Good to see you. Thanks for being here. Romaha and Amanda Stumpf is here as well. So good to see you guys. Thanks for being here. And hopefully you had a good week and whatnot. So, so tonight, again, it's just going to be kind of a more chill. We've kind of done a couple of relaxed ones, but again, I think it's sometimes good to just kind of go through these things and just kind of discuss all the elements to it. So it should be fun. Before we get into that, though, we got ourselves a tad bit of housekeeping.
Housekeeping?
Don't think you're sleeping.
Housekeeping?
All right, housekeeping, usual spiel. If you guys can, like, share, subscribe. Get this out to as many people as you can. It's not about views, not about butts and seats, but it is about getting the warning out to people and getting people to Jesus. So if you guys can go ahead and like, share, subscribe, it does certainly help reach people with the gospel. Again, we're here to not, have a closed-in, this is our club and everybody stay out. We want to obviously have fellowship and be able to discuss these things and learn. Obviously, as Christians and whatnot, we all want to go home. But at the same time, this is a time for us to be able to reach those who have questions, who are lost and ultimately need the gospel of Jesus Christ. So if you guys can do me a solid, like, share, subscribe, it does reach those people. I've noticed that there has been a recent uptick in new people that I haven't seen before, and they're starting to see what's going on. So you guys with the like, share, subscribe does help reach those people. So thank you for that. Also, if you guys can, make sure you guys follow me, Rumble and Telegram. Rumble is our backup channel. If we get booted off YouTube, we'll be backup live streaming over on Rumble. So make sure you guys follow over there. Of course, we are multi-streaming, simulcasting, however you want to say it, to YouTube, Rumble, and the website all at the same time. So make sure you guys go ahead and follow over there. Telegram, I post updates, announcements, news things, and anything in between. I just kind of throw some stuff up there as as I see fit. New videos and live streams and stuff will always be up there for reminders and whatnot, and announcements I'll make sure I put up there. The best place, though, is make sure you guys bookmark the website, WretchedWatchmen.com, which is the official website if you want to know what's going on, stay up to date. You'll find the recent podcast there, video series, announcements, event page, everything that you want to know. It's all up there on the website, so make sure you guys go ahead and bookmark that as well. And then last but not least, if you guys would like to support this channel and what I got going on, got donation links down below, CashApp, Venmo, Give, Send, Go. This channel's not monetized. I don't make anything from ads, views, or anything like that. It runs solely off of your guys' generous donations. So if you guys would like to help keep this going, and you would like to come up beside, partner, and keep this going. Again, our goal is to go out there and reach other people. I always view this as the bridge, how we do this, a bridge ministry of trying to reach those who are just, looking for answers, give them some answers, and then smack them over the head with the gospel at the end, of course. That's always the good stuff. So those donation links are below. Thank you guys for your support and donations and prayers and everything. I truly appreciate it, so thank you guys for that. Okay, coming up, guys, to this day, 1 month to this day, we've got the big thing, the big thing with the hairy legs in the pool and stuff. Okay, I gotta stop making that joke. Let's just go over. It is the where is that? There it is. If We're Still Here Bible Prophecy Shindig. This thing is free online, March 15th, 2025. It is a Saturday. It's an all-day event. It's not like a round table or anything like that. Everybody's going to take their turn presenting their presentations. That are quite presentful. I have no idea. But yeah, so JB Hickson, JD Farag, Jeff Solwold, John Prescott, Toby Stevens, and myself, we will be doing this. It's going to be a great time. Again, this thing is 100% free. It doesn't cost you anything. You don't have to register. You don't have to go to a special website. You don't have to sign up. You don't have to do any of that type of stuff. Just show up at the this YouTube channel or the WretchedWatchmen.com website, and it will be there for everybody. There's going to be no expiration date. It'll be up as long as the internet is up. So make sure you guys come in for that. It's online. Don't have to travel anywhere. And one of the big things that I wanted to make sure that I stress, especially as we get closer right now, this is the perfect opportunity to invite people that either are Christians that don't know prophecy and you want to get them involved, people who are looking for some answers on some stuff, or your non-saved friends. Invite them over, have a house event, have an event at church, talk to your pastor, see if you can hold like an event at the church where you have it up on the screens and stuff. All the churches now have big screens and whatnot. See if you guys can work something out, do an event. I'm going to put out a thing when we get a little bit closer, but I want people to take pictures of those events, of all the people there and everything. And I want to make like a collage video about like basically centered around that. And I think it would be awesome. So make sure you guys do that. I have some people asking what time. No time yet. We're getting the schedule set up. I'm just collecting the last bit of everybody's presentations, and then I'm going to get the schedule, and then when the schedule is ready to go, I will let you guys know what's going on with that. So when it starts, who's on at what time, what they're talking about, all that type of stuff. So it's going to be good stuff. I can't wait. It's going to be good time. Very good time. Okay, that's all we got with that. All right, so since it is Saturday, what we got going on is we got the Wretched Weather Report. Let's do it.
Everybody got their fancy hats? Let's go!
Get your fancy hats, whether it's a backwards baseball cap or a tinfoil hat, like me, which is a backwards baseball cap lined with tinfoil. Doesn't matter. Get your fancy hats. Let's get into this. So for Wretched Weather Report, what we do is we just keep track of the trends of what's going on with weather stuff, things like volcanoes and earthquakes and storms and all that type of stuff. I'm not a weatherman. I'm not a geologist. I'm not a meteorologist. I'm not a proctologist. I'm not a podiatrist. I'm none of that stuff. But we just keep track of what's going on because these are the natural events that are included in part of the birth pains that are going to increase in size and frequency as we move closer to the day of the Lord post-rapture into the day of the Lord. You guys knows the spiel. So this past week, as far as earthquakes, 5.5 magnitude and up. I got a 5.9 in Port Vila, Vanuatu. There's a 5.8 in Kodiak Station, that's Alaska. 6.0, which is our big one of the week, which is Metahara, Ethiopia. And then there's a 5.7 in Kashagatch, Hrasha, Mada Hrasha. I can't do that roll, like vocal scrape roll thing. Hrasha, I can't do it. You guys know what's up. That's it though. Just four of them for this past week as far as that goes. There was California got hit with like a 3 something over there as well, but nothing too dramatic on that end. Of course, we're still waiting for that big one, but again, I don't think that big one's going to happen until we're gone. Personally, that's just my opinion. Just throwing it out there. As far as volcanoes, we got 48 volcanoes actively erupting, which is +4. So we're at the tippy top of that normal range that we're usually at, which is about the 44 to 48 range. We had 8 in North America, which is +2 from last week. 5 in South America, which is down 1 from last week. 2 in Europe, which is +1 from last week. 3 in Antarctica, 4 in Africa, 18 in Asia, which is +2 from last week, and then 8 in Oceania. So here we go with the math. +2, +1, +2, -1 equals +4. I just hit my microphone. I apologize, but we're all a little bit, I wouldn't say smarter. Don't ever get your math lessons from me. Just saying. Okay, that's all we got as far as that goes. Also, as I think I talked about it earlier on, but be praying for those dealing with the storms and the tornadoes and stuff like that in the southern, eastern, and part of midwestern regions. They're dealing with some serious flooding and tornadoes and whatnot. So I think a couple people have already died. So be praying for those. Again, the Lord can and absolutely does shine through tragedy like that, and a lot of people come to know Him through it. So please be praying for them. Please. Okay. All right. Let's go ahead and get into this stuff. Yeah, we're going noteless tonight. That's right, guys. We're going noteless. I got no notes. We're just going to kind of cruise through this and have some fun. So I'm going to go ahead and close that, which is my blankie. And we're just going to go ahead and get into this. All right. So let's go ahead and move on over. Let's see here. Make sure I got the right thing set up. All right. There we go. All right. So I was sent this article as I started out saying, and it's a pretty interesting article to say the least, because this Ben I can never pronounce his last name. Ben Goetzel, one of those pronunciations. He's somebody that I've come across. I haven't done a lot of study on him, but his name has popped up here and there as I've been looking into this stuff. But he's one of those guys that he's big into AI. He develops AI programs, and he's somebody that is actively pushing and placing the spirituality stuff into the artificial intelligence. And so something that I've talked about whenever I talk about these things is AI is a supernatural system. Along with quantum computing is a supernatural system. These things are supernatural systems. I know there's still so many people that don't view AI as supernatural. I get it. I understand. I'm not going to sit here and argue and debate with anybody about that. That's fine. It really doesn't matter. I personally believe it is, especially since we're getting to the point now where artificial intelligence is beginning to think on its own. It's able to come up with things on its own. And it was never able to do that before. So I think it's pretty important. So, but when we look at this, this is a person who's a ambassador community person from Singularity Net, which is a website. We'll take a look at that stuff a little bit in a little bit. But that's Ben's. I'm not going to be able to pronounce his last name, so we'll just call him Ben there. Ben's website that has to do with injecting spirituality into artificial intelligence. So they're doing a read through, a generalization of his book called The Consciousness Explosion. And so we're just going to kind of go through this article because there's a bunch of stuff in there, and I want to kind of talk to you about some of the things going on. And the first quote from this book is so revealing. If you know what to look for. I'm going to be making a lot of references to my End Times New Age series. If you have not watched that, I'm sure there's some people that are getting tired of me mentioning it. too bad. You really need to start getting into it, because I believe that there is a whole lot of questions that can be answered regarding this. So, a quote from it says, AI is a vision quest both for many of the individual researchers working on it and for humanity as a whole. AI is an incredible scientific and intellectual adventure involving understanding the essence of what makes us human and performing. So right here, AI is an incredible scientific and intellectual adventure involving understanding the essence of what makes us human and performing. So it's this belief, a lot of these people and these guys, again, they have either they hold something in New Age, something in New Thought, something in alchemy, something in some type of spirituality, UFOology. All these groups, they hold an element that's advancing through consciousness, conscious evolution, and Christ consciousness. Conscious evolution is the belief that we have just naturally, without decision, evolved up until this point, but in order to evolve to the next step, we have to consciously choose to evolve, and that is through technology. Christ consciousness is the belief, is basically little God's doctrine, is the belief that we are Christ's, and in order to advance to our Christ level, we have to accomplish something to get there. A lot of people believe it's through technology and transhumanism. A lot of people believe it's through mind files, which is uploading a person's consciousness to a computer. It depends on what it is. You look at Mormonism, they believe the same thing. In order to become gods, you have to accomplish these certain tasks, hold to these certain ethics to do it. Hinduism is the same thing. A lot of them, spirituality and Hinduism and Buddhism, has to do with just knowledge, enlightenment. Everything has to do with advancement through some type of gaining of knowledge and an awakening through knowledge, which is the root of the mystery religion, again, that started in the Garden of Eden, which ultimately was Gnosticism. So the belief of gaining certain knowledge to unlock the ability to be God is the key to that. So everything surrounds about that. And so one of the things that happened is Satan went to Eve and said, if you eat of this tree, did God really say? And that you will be like God. And so that was the first religion on earth. Remember, being a Christian, following, I shouldn't say being a Christian now, because Christianity has been so warped and twisted nowadays that anything falls into Christianity. If you're a Bible-believing, Christ following person, you have placed your faith in Jesus Christ and you follow his word, then that is not a religion. That's having a relationship with our Lord and Savior Jesus Christ. All these other religions are man-made, and they're all based on the same thing. So that always answers the question most people have is, well, how is it all these religions across the world that are all so different all going to come together to form the one world religion? Well, it's easy, because if you follow it back, all these religions that seem so different actually all began from the same thing, and really underneath the however you want to put it, the coat of paint that they all paint on there, they're all the same thing. Their foundations are all rooted in the same thing, which is we are gods. That's why we see it creeping so much into the churches nowadays. We see the NAR church. Well, again, you follow that back. You got the NAR church, which goes back to the charismatic church, which then goes back to the Pentecostal church, which then goes back to the Catholic church, which then goes even further back and back and back. And then you got the different branches like Theosophy, New Age, New Thought. There's different branches of like Mormonism and Lutheran and all these other ones that all stem from that. They all follow something which goes back even further into like the Rosicrucians, and then you get into Theosophy, you get into Hermes Trismegistus, you get into all these types of things. Again, if all of that doesn't make any sense, I explain it in the End Times New Age series. So go check it out. What does that have to do with this? Well, one of the main parts of this, and we're going to talk more about it, is the idea people like Barbara Marx Hubbard, as well as Buckminster Fuller, and some of these other people who believed that we can achieve Christ consciousness through this technology. We need to have a not only working relationship with AI, but we need to inject AI into our bodies as well. We need to combine AI and biology together to do a cohesive harmony or a collective consciousness. How many people have been hearing that a lot lately? And so by doing that, you can accomplish this. One of the main guys that was a part of it is Pierre Teilhard de Chardin. And he is one of those people who he was all wrapped up in the idea of the omega point, which is we have four stages of life, where there was the Big Bang, but it was actually a mix of God creating the Big Bang, and then God created evolution. His goal was to infiltrate Christianity and combine Darwinism and Christianity together, because he was a Jesuit Catholic priest. And he was also funded by the Rockefeller group, who also all believes in this. Again, End Times New Age series if you want to know more about that. And so you take these things and you progress to what he calls the omega point, or Christ consciousness, or Christogenesis, as he calls it. And so it's this idea that we can evolve as a whole in order to get there. A lot of people, again, in like UFOology and alienology and all that type of stuff, also believe the same thing, because they believe if we can become one with our world, people and the world and nature become one, we can have a collective consciousness awakening, which can transport us to the fifth dimension, the next dimension, fifth dimension, age of Aquarius. That's a part of that. We've been hearing a lot about the golden age a lot lately. That's all interconnected as well. What am I saying with all that? This mystery religion that we see in Revelation 17 is leading all of this. We tend to think of it, if anybody's even heard of the mystery religion, because either most people haven't even heard of it, and some people, a lot of people who have heard of it really don't know what it is. But this thing is riding the beast in. It's leading all of this through, and it's not just in the churches. It's everywhere. It's in the government. It's in entertainment. It's in technology. All these people that are making this advanced have been seduced by this religion in order to accomplish the goal of worshiping self, which will eventually become worshiping the Antichrist, worshiping Satan. And so the mystery religion, of course, will lead up to a certain point. The Antichrist will take a spot. Satan will kick her off and take the role of worship me type of deal. So that's just a crash course and all that type of stuff. That's why it's so dangerous. And I talk about this all the time when it comes to everything that's going on in the church, because the churches are actively embracing this mystery religion, which has everything to do with all of this type of stuff. And so I think it's just so important that we don't give it any room to come in. The biggest one, of course, is the music scene. The modern worship music of today is so corrupt and laced with things that aren't godly, aren't biblical, and aren't of Jesus, but yet the church is naturally embracing it because they're getting a high off of a Kundalini spirit, a different spirit that they believe is actually the Holy Spirit, which is not. It's something that is the exact opposite. And so we've got to be very careful of what's going on. Okay, we have only made it through the first two lines of this thing. I'm going to try and not stop and talk as much as I have, but I think it's good to have a kind of a general understanding of what's going on. And this next part is going to be the part that I really wanted to point out. It says, AI is an incredible scientific and intellectual adventure involving understanding the essence of what makes us human and performing, well, so far trying to perform the alchemical miracle. Where's my mouse at? There it is. The alchemical miracle of bringing the essence out of the inanimate matter. Why is this so key? Alchemy. A lot of people, when they think of alchemy, they just think of like the Renaissance age or something like that, with like the wizards and Merlin and whatnot. Alchemy is a serious religious element to a lot of this stuff. Freemasonry is based on alchemy. Mormonism is based on alchemy. A lot of these religions, if you want to follow it even back, things like Theosophy and Vrillianism and all these type of things, based on alchemy. Where does alchemy come from? Hermes Trismegistus and the Emerald Tablets. Alchemy, or the highest element, is Mercury, which is a symbol. I don't have the symbol. Let's see if I can pull up the symbol real quick. Let's see. Mercury. I don't think it's going to pull it up. There it is. Let's see here. If I can go full screen. That is the alchemy Mercury spiritual element. And so what this thing is, what it really means is, it means ascending the physical into the spiritual, and it's the enlightenment perfection. A lot of this has to do with things like how many people have seen Harry Potter, and like the Sorcerer's Stone was actually called the Philosopher's Stone, which the Philosopher's Stone is actually the idea of having this perfect element that you can turn everything to gold. I'm sure you've heard of a lot of stories like that as well. But the goal of alchemy, and you'll notice this in so many symbols on Freemasonry, like the rebus and different things, the Knights Templar had all this as well, is the belief that if you can reach this perfection of alchemy here, and you'll notice it looks like the feminist and the Ankh and all those type of things. You got the full moon and the half moon. Again, I go over all that in the End Times New Age series, is the belief that you can reach this enlightenment in order to become perfect and transcend the physical into the spiritual and perfection in that type of way. So the goal with that is the alchemical miracle of bringing the essence of inanimate, bringing AI into a living, breathing perfection organism that we can combine with ourselves. So hopefully that makes sense. Sometimes I'm not good at explaining all the things going on in my head, but it's interesting that he specifically chose alchemical miracle of bringing the essence, living essence, to an inanimate matter. And I think that's very key, because that's what they're trying to do with AI. They're trying to make something living. Now, when you start getting into this type of stuff, you can look at demonic intelligence, the possession of AI by demons. Again, that's another argument that many people don't believe is possible. I personally believe that it's possible as well, especially since AI is a supernatural system that's starting to be able to think on its own type of deal. So I think that's key in all this. Let's keep going. AI is a potential route to discovering new kinds of thinking, new kinds of science and art, new aspects of the universe, possibly whole new universes. So new aspects of the universe. Of course, we're trying to transcend the universe, and a possibility of new universes, which means there's new states out there, including new states of consciousness, more non-ordinary from a human perspective than anything a yogi or a yogai, however you want to pronounce that, has dreamed of. So yoga is one of those people. It's not just like a yoga teacher, but it's actually somebody who the Buddhist, Hindu, awakening. It's a broad spectrum of people who believe in that type of spirituality, of being able to teach others in order to fulfill themselves through meditation and whatnot. So they believe that through AI, through alchemy injected into AI, we can use this to transcend even past what we can do just biologically and advance to the next level, which is Christ consciousness. I hope I'm not losing anybody here, because I know this is a subject that you can really get lost on this. So I apologize if I'm losing anybody. Yeah, it makes sense in my own head, but sometimes it makes sense. It doesn't make sense for others. But yeah, so we're going to go through this. Join us through the second part of reading this book. We're going to look at some of that, explore regarding the advent of AGI, basically artificial general intelligence in the singularity, as well as concrete implementation in the complex world we live in. And so together we will explore the concept of politics, power, pathos on the journey towards the upcoming singularity, ensuring it unfolds in a way that benefits humanity and all life on Earth, which, again, not really what they want to use this for. But I find it funny that it says practical advice of how to personally prepare to navigate and thrive, which, again, if you've seen my series, it's a red flag word, in the upcoming age of singularities, which is fascinating. We'll talk about the singularity here in a minute as well. Let's just go ahead and start going through this. So the AI oligopoly, that ain't the word. You guys can see it though. One of the main thesis that CEO Ben proposes in his book, that most of today's AI industry is focused on 4 things: selling, spying, gambling, and plagiarizing. I'm sure we can all agree on that one. Ben goes into these 4 issues and provides us with an overview of what is happening in the big tech industry. So selling. AI-driven personalized marketing is what has propelled big tech companies past the $1 trillion mark, although big tech companies also work with AI in different areas like supply chain optimization and underlying the search systems, machine translations, and endless functions. So selling, taking your information and selling it abroad, whether it's for ads, ads or companies to sell you certain things that apply with what's going on. They're always trying to do a personalized marketing system. So we've been watching this for years now. This is nothing new. Even the YouTubes and the Rumbles and stuff, when you log in, the AI takes what you have watched in the past and throws you recommendations based on that. That's basically what this is. It's taking your information and selling it in order to make it happen. We've seen personalized ads on different websites. Facebook is one of the big ones, but there's a whole bunch of other organizations and companies that take this information and sell it to marketing ads and whatnot. The government has even been caught doing this. The government has been spying on you and selling it to ad companies. Meanwhile, you can also reverse it and say ad companies have been spying on you and selling it to the government as well, as kind of a backdoor way to get around certain policies and legislation that's out there to basically stop the government from doing that, but they don't care. They do it in their own type of way. But this is something we've been seeing for a long time. It's getting worse, especially when we start getting to biometrics and whatnot. Raise of hands, how many people have seen the Minority Report? If you have not seen the Minority Report, there's cameras and stuff that scan your biometrics everywhere you go, mainly your eyes, but there's other ones as well. And there's a couple of scenes that when he walks through the mall or walks into a store, the camera scans his eyes and personalizes an ad right on the screen in front of him, says his name, offers something that is familiar to him, something that he likes and whatnot. And so all of this information is working on that similar artificial intelligence technology. And so selling is absolutely something we've been seeing. Spying and killing. This is one that we've been seeing increase tenfold lately, especially when we see people like Palantir and Endural and all that. The field of AI began in the spaces of espionage and the military, while the focus of scalable AI deployment has moved from military and intel to consumer internet usage. Plenty is being done in the arena of spying and killing. There's actually no clear border between the military and espionage agencies and big tech companies. I would say now more than ever, not only is there no clear border, but I would say the border has been completely removed, especially since we're moving into a time of fascism, not only here in the United States, but all across the world. We're heavily moving into fascism, where we're seeing the combining of government / military and private corporations here, big tech companies. This is becoming ever more present in our times right now. And so we're seeing things like the Maven project, which has to do with AI targeting. We've seen projects like from Israel, who's got these from the Palantir Maven contract, things like, the Gospel, which that's a terrible name, but the Gospel, or the Lavender program, which is an AI program that uses to target individuals and send military ordnance to blow them up, pretty much. All these countries, Russia's got it going on, China's got it going on, both Koreas have got it going on. Some countries in Europe have it going on, the United States have it going on. They're using AI, giving them the keys to kill. And so this is definitely something that we've been seeing when it comes to the military aspect. We've got drones that can just fly now, autopilot jets and helicopters and all that stuff that's going on as well. So AI is definitely involved with the spying and killing. Gambling is a big one. AI is being used increasingly in sophisticated risk management and prediction algorithms to ensure that ever more of the planet's wealth is piped from ordinary masses into the accounts of top fraction of the economic top. So it's not just casinos like a lot of people are thinking, but this has to do with a lot with company decisions. This has to do because you're just taking risks, you're gambling in that element. Stocks, a lot of companies are now using AI to do their stock trades and whatnot, which if you still don't believe that the stock market isn't rigged, this should tell you that it absolutely is, since they're allowed to use AI to manipulate their stock stuff in order to do that. And so this has a lot to do with all of that in order to funnel. We've heard of the great wealth transfer and all that type of stuff. There's been different versions of that. There's been different time periods. 2008 was one of those. 2020 was another one of those. The great wealth transfer of all the money getting funneled up to the top. Well, we're seeing it even more when it comes to this, when certain companies no longer have to gamble on anything, and they can just continue to take and take and take, utilizing AI. Global financial system bears no resemblance to a democratic or competitive system. Instead, it is carefully engineered via the collaboration of multinational corporations. Again, more fascist underlyings here. Large financial institutions and government departments to provide systematic and steadily increasing advantage to a small number of very wealthy and powerful parties. Any of this sound familiar? Because this is something that we've been talking about for a while. Unfortunately, a lot of people think it's just the Democrats and the deep state that's doing this, but no, there is a group of people that are making this happen on both sides through deception and playing people. They're making this stuff happen. And at least here in the United States, again, there's other countries that are already full-blown in that direction, but here in the United States, we have a full fascist takeover happening in front of our very eyes right now, and AI is the system that they're implementing. Then we got plagiarizing. Today's generative AI algorithms are striking for their utter lack of original insight and invention, as they are for their incredible facility at judiciously combining together existing elements. The role of generative AI's creation in the modern capitalist economy are persistently perverse, taking over work previously done by people by copying and recombining these people's work generally without giving said people any recompense. So this is your AI pictures and AI video and AI music and AI, all these like artistry things that we see going on. A lot of people don't understand how that works. It's not just creating something, it's taking from its data set and mushing all this stuff together to create the image that you see in front of us. It's literally taking other people's work, human work, and just jamming everything together to create this monstrosity of AI imagery in front of you. And so it's plagiarism because they're taking somebody else's work, even if it's a small piece, and jamming it into something. It's still somebody else's work, and AI is basically just taking all of that in order to do it. So plagiarizing absolutely is something that's being done. That's why it needs to collect people's data, because it takes everybody's thoughts and stuff and just reuses it. That's how it works on that level of things. So this is the author's main concern. Ben's main concern, quote unquote concern, is what will happen when these narrow intelligence begin to converge into artificial general intelligence, which is the bigger, more free thinking version that we have in front of us. We're not, at least on the outside. I don't want to talk about something that I don't know on the inside, but at least on the outside, we haven't hit full blown AGI yet. We're getting close though. Like I said, AI is already starting to come up with new proteins. It's already starting to write its own code. It's already starting to do these things without any human input, which is right on track for artificial general intelligence. The centralization of AI development and deployment is driven by the reliance of most modern AI techniques on vast amounts of training data. Collecting, storing, and manipulating large amounts of data requires substantial financial resources. The data acquisition process either requires a partnership with governments, which then share the data gathered, or a product that gathers users' data while offering services. And as Ben states, only the mega corporations can afford to handle that amount of data, which is why we see partnerships of government with these mega corporations, select groups. So one of the big things when it comes to this side of things is partnering up and making sure that only certain government organizations and certain mega corporations have access to all this stuff. I still have some people because they're falling for this Doge thing. And I don't want to make the whole thing about this, but this is what's going on. So it does apply. I don't want to make this whole thing about the Doge thing, but people are coming at me now because I had a thing that I talked about like a week or two ago saying the Doge department is not what people think it is. And they're saying, well, this video didn't turn out good. And, oh, this aged terribly and whatnot, because they think, oh, well, this unelected person with a team of other unelected individuals from a company that gets contracted by the United States has gone into the U.S. government, supposedly removed funding for other Democrat-run things. It's always Democrat. You're not finding anything on the right side of things, even though we know that there's shysters too. It's all the Democrat stuff saying that we found all this fraud and all this corruption, and now we're taking the money away. Well, we're just taking them at their word by this unelected futurist, transhumanist, mRNA, Satanist dude, Elon Musk, led by a group of people from the Palantir Group, which is ever growing contractually with the United States government. And they're going in, removing all this stuff. Everybody's cheering for it, not realizing that that money is getting funded right back into an AI system in order to control all this stuff, which is exactly what we're talking about right here. You got to be able to, again, get past that first barrier in order to see really what's going on. And so this is a big point that I wanted to make as far as that goes. All right, let's keep going. But what might be even more concerning is that the complexity in AI industry production may be intentional. According to the author, or Ben, the most complex and difficult the AI production process becomes, the fewer competitors and producers of AI there will be. That's why we're starting to see more and more of these smaller tech companies either shut down or get swallowed up into the big boys. Palantir, Endural, Meta, OpenAI, and some of these other ones like that, they're all getting bought out or are controlled. Like there's a smaller one called Clearview AI. Well, guess who's in control of that? Peter Thiel, who's connected to Palantir. So there's a connection there. There's other ones out there, Carbine, which is also connected to Palantir, but they're a smaller one. And so you have all these that are starting to funnel to the big ones of what's going on. And this is exactly the process, because while they're saying we want it to be open to everybody, what they mean is we want everybody to have access to it, but only controlled by a certain group of mega corporations that will basically own these things, that they own it. And if they own these things and AI is ruling over you, they own you, which is that neo-feudalistic technocracy. AI's reliance on hugely expensive compute resources, in many ways, a plus rather than a minus. Another similarity between the military and corporate AI lies in the emphasis that the military places on AI to obey orders and closely adhere to expert-provided rules or training data sets, which naturally translates into the corporate world's focus on AI obeying management directives and adhering to expert-provided rules and training data sets gathered to maximize profitability and market share and mind share. AI that fits into the military hierarchy also fits into the corporate hierarchy, and traits like creativity and open-mindedness are typically out of scope and undesirable, which is something that we've been seeing a lot lately too. I'm asking you guys to raise your hand a lot, but I want some interactivity here. Raise your hands. How many people have read or at least heard of The Naked Communist, written by Joel? I think his first name is Joel Skousen. One of the main elements in order to control a populace, to reduce the morale of a populace and make people just more prone to fold into what's going on, is to reduce the creativity of people. Do you guys remember 10, 15 years ago going to different restaurants and stores out there? Like McDonald's used to go in there and they'd have all the colors everywhere, characters and trees, live trees and all this stuff. The buildings themselves look better. Pizza Hut had the big red roof and all that stuff. If you go around, what are they now? They're all gray. They all look like basic like prison cafeterias and whatnot. Because if you can go and you can slowly transition from creativity and bright colors and stuff, no matter how loud and horrendous they may be. No, Dad, I'm not talking about your Hawaiian shirts. Had to throw that in there. We had a conversation about that earlier today. Anyways, moving on. But it's still one of those things where when you start reducing that and you take it away, people their morale drops. People start to become a little bit more depressed. They'll fall in line a whole bunch easier because of it. And so that's a key element to what's going on. So AI is taking that away from people. Musicians. Finding a true musician nowadays is so difficult because a lot of people think that if they can just push some keys on their keyboard, utilizing the tech and AI and creating some type of song, they think that they're a musician when they're really not. There's no creativity there. There's no discipline there. There's no learning there. Go and ask anybody who's been a true musician who took the time, years, 20, 30 years of studying their instrument. Go and ask them if they think that today's music is real music and whatnot. Most of them, I'm not going to say all of them, but most of them would say absolutely not, because there's no creativity. There's no human element to it anymore. And this is exactly what they don't want from people, because they'll fall in line easier based upon it. Hope that makes sense. Okay. Innovation and experimentation in the current AI industry. Why there isn't a simple way for a developer of the quadruped animation code to offer his software directly to end users and monetize his work directly. There isn't any technical reason. It's simply because that's not the way AI industry and infrastructure currently works. Another issue that Ben identifies in the current landscape of the AI industry is the lack of innovation and experimentation. According to him, the system as it currently is designed does not promote innovation in any way, but rather focuses on the development of narrow technology, which is the more honed in guiding technology. Let's say it's like the technological version of the Hegelian dialectic, where you got two sides, but you keep everybody in the spectrum, and then you can guide society based upon that. That's how AI is now. He's basically saying there's no innovation, no experimentation. Everybody is following the same guidelines that these companies want them to in order to progress the AI in the narrative and the direction that they want to go. So that's kind of the rundown of what that means on that. Okay, so let's kind of go down because there's some other stuff that I wanted to talk about when it comes to this. Let's see here. Trying to find it. Where's that? So I don't want to pass it up because there's something specific that I wanted to point out, but I cannot remember where it's at. I don't know if I'm going to be able to find it. Okay, here we go. Yeah, right here. The economics of the singularity. So I know there's some people who have some questions regarding what the singularity is, because I've heard some people wonder what it actually means. So what we're going to do is I've got this quote by Ray Kurzweil back in 2005, which should answer the question for you. So I pulled this from my End Times New Age series because I went over this. But this is a good element of what the singularity is. Again, Ben's talking about the age of singularities and whatnot, but I think this is critical in this. So this is Ray Kurzweil, who's the Google guy, who's a part of the singularity guy. He's a futurist, transhumanist, a colleague of Barbara Marx Hubbard, studied people like Pierre Teilhard de Chardin, and a bunch of these other guys. And so he's somebody that believes in the Christ consciousness and conscious evolution. He says, the singularity, it's a future period during which the pace of technological change will be so rapid, its impact so deep that human life will be irreversibly transformed. This is based on the law of accelerating returns. And if we jump down, it says, the singularity will represent the merger of our biological thinking and existence with our technology, resulting in a world that is still human, but that transcends our biological roots. There will be no distinction post-singularity between human and machine or between the physical and virtual reality. What the singularity is it's the merging of AGI intelligence and the biological system of us together to the point of we have no idea where the human body ends and the machine begins. We will have no idea what is the physical versus what is the virtual anymore. This is what the singularity is. It's the merging of the physical, biological, we'll call it realm, and the digital realm. It's the metaverse. It's the matrix, which is ultimately the best way to put it. The matrix is a singularity where the AI has become sentient. It has AGI. It's able to think and create things on its own. And it has merged with humans to the point of humans don't even know that they're in a virtual world anymore because everything feels natural. It feels organic. It feels biological. And it feels like reality when in fact it's not. You don't know where the human begins and the end, or in the machine ends. And so this is something that they are trying to accomplish, that they are actively working to accomplish. This is that spiritual element of reaching the next level, of trying to advance past what God has not only created, but advance past what God has ordained. It's the same thing that we saw, that we read in the Tower of Babel when it comes to Nimrod, Semiramis, Tammuz. They believed that they could build themselves a tower up to heaven, that they were gods. And the Lord said, well, because they are of one language and they're working together in this way, they can accomplish so much of these things. And so he scattered them. He scrambled the language and scattered them. He stopped them from going past what he created and what he ordained in order to do this. And so this is something that they're trying to accomplish now. This is prophetic patterns. That's why everything that we see regarding this beast system is in order to basically rebuild what was going on back in the day. Now, we don't know the full aspect of the technology that we had that they had back then. That's another element that I am curious to learn when I get up to heaven. We could speculate, but that's just speculation. We can't look at that as fact. But I tend to believe that they had technology back then that probably advanced past what we're seeing right now. Personally, it's just in a different way that I don't know if I can even, first of all, comprehend myself or even try to explain. But there's been something that I've been looking into. I haven't necessarily talked about it, but there's this thing called ancient AI. It's the belief and the idea that they had an AI system back then, especially when you start getting into things like the Nephilim and the hybrids and stuff. There was that intelligence there that was able to give them this information. I've talked about this in the Aliens and Demons series. There's people like Nikola Tesla and the other guy, I can never remember his name. He built the Integratron. Integratron. George Van Tassel. And you look at these guys, these two guys never met, but they were actually given the exact same information, blueprints to build time machines, even though they never met, because they basically said that they were contacted by this group called the Council of Nine, which are these, they believe to be extraterrestrial beings that have control of all this type of stuff. But this work was never supposedly finished. Nikola Tesla, we see what happened with him. Then there's the whole situation of being caught up with Fred Trump, which is the uncle of Donald Trump, and he took all of Nikola Tesla's research. But Nikola Tesla was working on things like the giant ray gun, working on things like the teleportation device, working on free energy and harnessing things through that was an occultic energy vibrational system. Because if you look at the Integratron, which was supposed to be a teleportation device that was never finished, but is now a healing device through vibration, which is something I talk about. Don't ever get caught up in the vibration stuff, because that is part of witchcraft. It was the foundation for both of those time machines that these men were supposed to have instructed by them through demons. And so this is that spirituality element through it. You go through things like Nazi Germany, back in the 30s. You have the Vril Society, which were the people who communicated telepathically with demons, who were supposed to be this underground society that was giving them instruction on how to build UFOs and other technology and stuff. So when you look at something like the idea of ancient AI and the technology that they had back then, I don't think it's just what we think of when it comes to stones tied together with sticks and clay and stuff like. I think there was more back then that was washed away with all of this. That's just something that I'm throwing out there. Do with it with what you will, but I think it's pretty fascinating when it comes to that. So the singularity plays a part in that, I believe, as well. Okay. Let's see here. Let's keep on rolling with this as well. Hopefully you guys all right. I hope I'm not losing you, because I'm just kind of throwing a lot of stuff out there on this. I hope you guys are okay. Yeah. Okay, so if we keep going, it says, following and quoting economist Hansen. Hansen is the guy. I'm not sure if this is the specific Hansen, but Ben has teamed up with Hansen Robotics, who is the guy who created the Sophia bot, which again, that's the Gnostic belief. Sophia, who's basically God's wisdom, the female being, the divine feminine. There's the whole element with that as well. So there is a tie to that. Again, you can End Times New Age series, I get into more on that. Anthony states that while without machine intelligence, the world product grows at a familiar rate of 4.3% per year. When factoring in machine intelligence, the instantaneous annual growth rate would be 45%. So basically, he's saying humans suck, and we need AI to come in order to grow to the economy 10 times faster. That's what he's saying, because they're saying AI can do all of our jobs much better than we can. That's really ultimately what he's saying in regards to this. According to Ben, the market value of AI is projected to grow 3,000% from 2017 to 2045. So again, they're putting all of their emphasis into this AI system to make everything roll with this. So then we get to this, navigating the coming economic and political disruptions. If AGI develops even roughly as I'm envisioning, most people's labor will before long not be economically very valuable. Again, it's taking over your jobs. We're already starting to see AI take over jobs now. It's only going to increase further from here. He also says that, while at the same time, the means to provide all people with multiple forms of abundance will be ready to hand, and society will need to adapt to this combination of facts. How will this manifest globally, given realistic politics and global wealth inequality is far from obvious and is not going to be simple? How our political leaders will or should deal with this is another network of subtle questions. Again, this is why you have the neo-feudalistic technocracy. It's the merging of these things together, because the technocrats will be able to help lead this new age, this golden age, this age of Aquarius, this age of singularities, however you want to put it, according to what's going on. Again, all these technocrats, Elon Musk, Yuval Harari, Sam Altman, Larry Ellison, Peter Thiel, Alex Karp, all these guys, all of them are saying there will be a universal basic income. It will need to happen. A UBI system will need to happen to make this work. So it says, spending time with young children, creating art of various forms, building physical or intellectual or aesthetic structures together with other people. Well, all these very well may be meaningful things to do in a world where nano assemblers can print you whatever objects you want, and AGI robot assistants can serve your practical and information needs. The nano assemblers, or the molecular printers, basically they can take all these things, little tiny things like atoms and whatnot, and smash them together in order to create something out of nothing type of deal. Obviously, it's not nothing, there is something there, but it's the idea of printing out of thin air. We've seen this stuff in like Star Trek and whatnot, which again, Star Trek is connected to the Council of Nine, Aliens and Demons series, if you want to know more about that. But they're building these things. If you can have these machines that are able to just construct everything out of thin air like that, you can just print whatever you want and you can control the entire ecosystem. This is absolutely something that they're working on now. This is when you start getting into nanotechnology and molecular technology and all that type of stuff. We're not going to get into depth on that, but this is absolutely things that they are building and working on today. And it was shown to us in entertainment years ago. They said this stuff's coming. It's on its way. Get used to it, because it's coming. This might be the case, for instance, if we had a sudden breakthrough in molecular nanotechnology leading to fairly general purpose, low-cost molecular assemblers, which would print out whatever you want as easily as a water fountain spews out water, making it cheap and simple to fulfill everyone's everyday material needs based on easily available raw materials. If you have that available, they don't need us anymore. They just don't need us anymore. AI can manage everything. AI can create things. They can print whatever they want, and they don't need humans anymore. This is why we continue to see the idea of population control, reducing the numbers, and we can continue to see that stuff going forward. And that's clearly in their plan to make this happen. So this is where something gets interesting when it comes to how all this stuff will work. So he goes on to share 6 possible initiatives that could help combat the centralization of resources and technologies in the hands of a few. There's a couple things here that I want to point out because I think it's key. I've received an email asking, because they asked it basically in smaller words. They said, if all of the stuff, if there's supposed to be war and collapse and things are supposed to break apart and all this stuff, how is this beast system still going to work if power's off and data centers are destroyed and there's so much chaos? If all of that stuff is not working properly, how are they going to get it to work? I've kind of answered that question, but not in a direct way. The goal is to make this stuff work through the body. The Internet of Bodies is to use people as antenna. Now, I've talked about 6G technology, how they can use body energy in order to power electronics. So a lot of people ask, well, what happens if the power grids goes down? Well, if there's still people, they can use them as batteries to power these things up. You have Starlink sitting above us that's not connected to any of this type of stuff. That's basically a giant web over the earth that can communicate with all these things. It can communicate with data centers. It can communicate with technology. It can communicate with us. That's also when you start getting into quantum computing, because they have the ability. I talked about the time crystals that they're able to use now. They're able to store and transfer data through dark matter, which is not something that you can just blow up with a bomb. And so if they have the ability to do that and store information through that, they don't need all of the stuff around us anymore. So utilizing that, which again, you start getting into quantum and dark matter and all this stuff, you're getting into the spiritual aspect of things again. If you start storing stuff and using human energy that way, that's another element to all this as well. So they're working on ways to get around when all that stuff happens. So he mentions the mesh networks. A mesh network is a network of computers that share information directly among each other using methods like Bluetooth or Wi-Fi without a need for satellites, cell towers, or big centralized servers. If the majority of the world relied on mesh networks, internet access could be outside the control of large corporations and governments and more in direct control of people. How do you do that? Well, you attach one of these network systems to or in a person. And so they can communicate with each other through that, the things, and you now have a mesh network across the world. I'll give you an example. Amazon has their like their Ring system, but it runs on an Amazon network that communicates with each other. So a lot of people just think, well, I've got my Amazon thing, and it just goes like up to the sky and it communicates that type of way. No, it actually daisy chains across everybody else's Amazon stuff, and it's able to communicate through a mesh network to make that happen. Imagine if they did that with people. This is their answer to make all that work. The centralized production of low-cost hardware, where when we can 3D print the smartphones that enable this mesh network in relatively low-cost local factories, individuals, even in less developed nations, will have more access and more control. What is the big thing that they're trying to work on? Getting a smartphone and internet to all of the third world countries and stuff like that as well to make this happen. Machines translation, both text and voice, that handles all the world's languages to enable better cooperation and communication across natures and cultures. This is that push back towards the one world language. Again, going back to Babel, they're trying to get back to one language, even if it takes AI in order to make it happen. While it may not be one language exactly, everybody will communicate with each other like it's one language. So that's also a key aspect that they're working with AI as well. Widely used social network infrastructure that leverages machine translation and mesh networks that is out of the control of governments and corporations. Start to wonder who's going to be in control of that. Decentralized peer-to-peer economic exchange mechanism that is widely used and understood, operating on the mesh and requiring only prevalent low-cost hardware. Blockchain's technology provide an obvious basis here. Boom. We've been seeing a major push for that all over the world to make it happen. Video, games, augmented reality, virtual reality, biofeedback, neurofeedback, and AI interaction systems that are all oriented towards helping people understand themselves and each other better. Again, we start getting into the spirituality thing of learning ourselves, trying to figure out who we are and awaken and pursue to the next level of consciousness, which is really what they're talking about when it comes to this. Okay, so here is where we get to this aspect that I think is key when it comes to taking the technological stuff and applying it to what's going on with spirituality. And you might find it funny that it's a politically titled thing, but you'll see what I mean here in a second. So, libertarian democratic socialism. In a context of technological abundance, according to Ben, we would need some sort of libertarian democratic socialism that follows the basic principles. Principle 1, abundance. One of the main things, and again, if you've seen my End Times New Age series, you'll understand that abundance is one of the big words that all these gurus push. Whether it's through manifestation, whether it's through awakening and spiritual enlightenment in order to become a better business person, doesn't matter what it is. It's all about abundance so you can gain prosperity. Again, the name it and claim it prosperity gospel that we see going on is rooted in this exact same thing, because even people like Tony Robbins preaches the prosperity gospel. When you go in and you look at something like the AGNT, or the Association for Global New Thought, which is the same organization that was run by Barbara Marx Hubbard, Christ Consciousness and Conscious Evolution, she specifically talks, the AGNT specifically brings about the manifestation. If you can think it, if you do it positively and you have the right vibration and energy, you can make it manifest in front of you. It's the exact same thing that they preach in the prosperity gospel. People like Norman Vincent Peale, people like Robert Schuller, people who are connected to people like that, like Billy Graham. You start getting into NAR stuff like Lance Wallnau, Lauren Cunningham. You start getting into, the people, Joel Osteen, Kenneth Copeland, and all that type of stuff. When you start getting into that element, they are preaching a subversion of Gnostic belief, which is the name it and claim it, the same thing that the New Agers and New Thought and all that stuff is wrapped up in. So that, again, there's that mystery religion that's all throughout, not only political stuff, not only through technology, but is also through the church, the modern church of what's going on. But abundance supplies all humans and other sentient beings with enough resources of various sorts to get their needs met and allow them to ascend the Maslow hierarchy toward profound self-actualization and beyond. Maslow hierarchy. Abraham Maslow. Abraham Maslow is a guy who was part of the human potential movement. And this is what he's specifically referencing. Now, Maslow was also connected to Barbara Marx Hubbard, somebody like Buckminster Fuller, also studied people like Pierre Teilhard de Chardin. He created the Esalen Institute, which is throws the Wisdom 2.0 group, which Sam Altman and all these other people are connected to as well. He came up with the human potential movement, which, if you guys don't know the hierarchy, we're going to go ahead and take a look at that real quick. So if we jump over here, move that over so you guys can see it, and let's go full screen with this. This is the basically Maslow's hierarchy of the human potential movement. So down at the bottom, the first thing that everybody needs is physiological needs, things like air, water, food, shelter, sleep, clothing, reproduction. So must provide all of that. Next up is safety needs. You need personal security, employment, resources, health, and property. The next one up is love and belonging, friendship, intimacy, family, sense of connection. The next one is esteem, which is respect, self-esteem, status, recognition, strength, and freedom. And then up at the top, which I find it very interesting that it's an awakened I, self-actualization, desire to become the most that one can be, or to move into the Christ consciousness. Maslow believed that if you can get 1, 2, 3, and 4 all taken care of, physical, safety, love, and esteem, that since those are taken care of, everybody can then work on self-actualization, which would then be the collective consciousness to move us into the Great Awakening. So his goal with the human potential movement and what these people want to do with AI is they want to make a society that if everybody's first 4 were taken care of and they don't have to worry about any of that anymore, everybody can collectively and consciously choose to evolve to the next step. And that is what these people want to do. That's that spirituality element. So when you have AI in order to do all of this, that's what they're trying to accomplish when it comes to this situation. So with that, there's some other stuff on here let's just finish out this point and then we can move on to the next thing because I don't want to spend too much time on it. Let's go ahead and finish this part off. So principle 1, abundance. 2 is freedom, which allows human and other sentients as much freedom to pursue their own ends as possible. It's not necessarily the freedom like you would think it is, freedom to move around freely and do all that type of stuff. No, it would be freedom in the spiritual essence of what's going on. Principle 3, growth and respect, fosters both preservation of human life and historical culture and enthusiastic advancement through technologies. And then 4, social agency, gives sentient beings, when they gather into social groups, a great deal of agency to decide how their societies pursue above principles. So if we jump down, we get this. If we remain optimistic and assume that the Kurzweilian AGI timeline, which is Ray Kurzweil, I just showed the singularity quote, is roughly accurate following Ben's reasoning, this would align with either the 2028, 2032, or 2036 U.S. presidential elections, that this system, 4-principle system, would come into effect because AGI has now become part of the governing authority of humans, which is frightening. To say the least. All right, so we're going to go ahead and get to this next part. There's a lot more on this article, but I think you guys get the point with that. Let's go ahead and lead into some of the connections. Of what's going on with this. So Ben is connected to Singularity Net. This is one of the things that we were that article was written by one of the community administrators, and it's part of Singularity Net, which has to do with growing AI and AGI into what they want it to be. So if we jump over to this, we get an idea of what Singularity Net is. It says Advancing Beneficial AGI ASI Alliance founding member. And so they're connected to some of these things. We're going to take a look at some of them. One of them is the Twin Protocol. Sophia verse. Again, we get into the Gnostic Sophia name here with that. Sophia bot, with all that. Awakening Health. These are all New Age spirituality terms. Again, the End Times New Age series, I really go over pretty much all these names. Awakening Health, Mind Children. If you're a parent, you're not going to like that one too much. We're going to take a look at that. Incantio, Deep Noise Labs, True AGI, which again has a serious sacred geometry look there. You'll notice it in Freemasonry. You notice it in the Kabbalah. You notice it in UFOology and all that. That's a serious sacred geometry logo that they got. You got Yaya Labs, NewNet, Jam Galaxy, Rejuve.bio, Mindplex, which that again, a whole bunch of eyes going on, Singularity, DAO, Hypercycle, Cogito, and there's some other ones and whatnot, but we get an idea of what they're doing. And so the ASI Artificial Super Intelligent Alliance, Singularity Net's AGIX becoming the ASI token along with Fetch.ai and Ocean Protocol tokens as the largest open source independent entity in AI research and development. This alliance aims to accelerate the advancement of decentralized artificial general intelligence and ultimately artificial super intelligence. So now they want to go beyond just general intelligence. They want to start getting into the super intelligence. And so this is all about financing all of these systems in order to make them happen. And so you can kind of go through their different technology on that, but we're not going to worry about it too much. But yeah, that's Ben. If you guys want to know what he looks like, that's Ben. That's the guy that we were just reading. Have you noticed all these people, you know, whether it's Alex Karp, whether it's Ray Kurzweil, Ben here, they all have this crazy, they have a crazy look to them. I don't know how else to put it. So let's take a look at one of these things. Let's look at, which was the one, the digital twin, a twin protocol. So if we take a look at twin protocol here, next generation of decentralized AI, the Twin Protocol solves some of the most important business problems, including lost knowledge of departing employees and engaging the right specialized skills when needed. You know how I talked about Mindfile about uploading people's consciousness into the internet, basically into the metaverse or the singularity or AI, however you want to put it. It's about uploading consciousness into it. It's about, quote unquote, living immortal through the computer. They believe that they can do this through uploading mind files. And so I've talked about the digital twins before, which everybody's got a digital twin, and it's currently walking around in their simulations as we speak right now. Basically, this is how AI works, is they gather all the information on you and your surroundings, all the people that you know, how you work, all of these types of systems, and they run just simulation after simulation where AI predicts what the movement will be. So since I usually spend a whole bunch of time behind my computer doing what I do, the simulation probably shows me at this moment sitting behind my computer doing a podcast, because this is the normal time that I do a podcast, and they have that information. Everybody has a digital twin, and it's able to predict what our movement will be based on all of the information that it gathers about us. Well, this has to do with creating an AI of you, uploading your personality, your consciousness, basically who you are, in order to have an AI system that will be able to communicate. People will be able to communicate with. Now, I'll just go ahead and throw this out there, because I still have people that said, well, with the digital twin and through this AI system and all that stuff, that means the rapture could happen and nobody would know that it happened, and everybody can that is not how that's going to work. Guys, when the rapture happens, it's going to be chaotic, and having AI versions of us out there acting like us online is not going to do that. So all the people who think because of this and through AI and stuff that the world's not going to know that the rapture happened, they're going to know. Just wanted to make sure that I put that out there. But Twin Protocol is a digital twin that uses AI and machine learning to create a database and knowledge bank of departing employees to stop corporate knowledge drain. So if somebody dies in a corporation, or you fire somebody, if you have all of their trade secrets uploaded to this AI system, they don't need you anymore, because they've got everything that made you work. That's what this is. Twin Protocol claims to solve some of the most crucial problems businesses face, including knowledge loss from departed employees and engaging the right specialized skills when required. This is just all sorts of wrong, man. Let's take a look. Go full screen on this. This is just all sorts of wrong. I kid you not. Create your own AI twin. Anybody can do it. Anybody can do it. Your personal data is stored on the blockchain, making sure that your personal data is secure and safe. Capture your own knowledge base, share with an audience, and start earning from your own digital presence. Oh my goodness. Twin token, powering the data of AI-driven interactions. The Twin token is your gateway to secure, seamless, and user-driven AI engagement in the future. And yeah, we can see here, creating and training your own AI twin. Train your AI twin to reflect your thoughts, expertise, and unique perspective. AI token powers the training process, ensuring your AI evolves with your input. Earning and monetizing through AI-powered interactions. Your AI knowledge has value. With Twin Token, you can share curated insights, monetize AI-generated content, and engage in emerging AI economy. Again, you feed it data, and it poops out digital currency. Unlocking and engaging with twin agents. Interact with AI-powered twin agents that enhance productivity, automate tasks, and drive intelligent conversations. Twin Token provides access to a network of cutting-edge AI agents. And storing and organizing knowledge with Twin Vault. The Twin Vault is your AI's personal knowledge hub. Use Twin Token to securely store and organize your AI-driven insights, persevering and enhancing your digital intelligence. So again, this is part of that digital twin system, utilizing AI and uploading human consciousness into it to make it happen. Let's take a look at Sophiaverse, because this was the other one that's partnered up with this. Next generation of decentralized AI. Sophiaverse starts with NFT-based gameplay and marketplace and evolves to a full-fledged environment and API for games integration into the multiverse. Again, singularity. You will not know the difference between the virtual and the physical. The metaverse is similar to this into making it happen. Sophia's Age of Singularities metaverse is situated in a digital storyscape set in 2042 when all machines start to awaken. Man, again, if you've seen my End Times New Age series, alarm bells are going off all over the place around you because you just noticed a whole bunch of stuff going on with that. Many varieties of singularities emerge, some good, some bad, some like Sophia care about us. Again, you get into the Gnostic belief of Sophia, who was the one who sent Lucifer down in the Gnostic belief, the Gnostic texts, to send Lucifer down in order to bring us enlightenment. It was Lucifer that was sent by Sophia to save us from the demiurge who locked us in this prison. And they're saying, she cares about us. She's the good one. This is mystery religion. This is mystery religion, and this is all wrapped up in the AI system. Again, we focus so much on the physical side of AI, with how fast it's going and how fast it's being implemented. I get it. But our fight's not against flesh and blood. It is against the power of principalities and darkness and spiritual entities. So we got to make sure that we keep focus on that. How about mind children? Oh boy. Mind children, next generation of decentralized AI, building autonomous humanoid social robots, child robots, I might add, blurring the lines between human and machine and creating an emotionally understanding assistant. Yes, this is as sick as you think it is. Mind Children Inc. is pioneering a revolution in human-machine interaction. Imagine a world where your assistant isn't just functional, it's perceptive. Introducing Mind Children, the first of its kind autonomous humanoid social robot standing at just 3 feet tall, and the company seamlessly blends human-like form with cutting-edge AI, creating a companion that is both socially adept and emotionally intelligent. It's more than just following commands. Mind Children robots are built to learn, adapt, and understand your needs with remarkable nuance. You guys ready to see what this thing is? Yep. I told you it was as sick as you guys thought it was. Human-centered robotics. At Mind Children, we believe in the transformative power of robotics to support and amplify human potential. Our humanoid robots are built not just to assist, but to empower individuals, communities, and industries alike, ensuring a future where technology complements human capabilities in intuitive and meaningful ways. Oh, there's more. There's more. These things are apparently intelligent, able to learn, interactive, scalable, and safe, right? I've seen iRobot. I know what happens in that movie. Use cases. This is where things get worse. Healthcare, task assistant, remote connection with caregivers, safety and security monitoring, interactive exercise, and mentally stimulating activities and games. It just shows, of course, it's artificial intelligence that created the picture of just the old man and the child playing checkers. It's so innocent. You guys think that that's bad? How about this one? Education. Yes. You know how I was talking about how everybody's celebrating that Trump is sending Musk after the Department of Education to shut it down, and I said they're going to go the way of AI. Here we go. Education, collaborative teaching, specialized care for neurodivergent learners, overcoming language barriers, monitor safety and well-being. You guys see the wonderful picture there of all the kids surrounded by the little robot learning? Hospitality, personalized guest assistance, guided experiences, task assistance, brand differentiation, and guest entertainment. This is all sorts of wrong. This is just all sorts of wrong. People, you look at what's going on and nobody's having kids for whatever reason that they want to. Also, they can replace them in the future with the little mind children. There's just so much wrong with this. Now, who's all connected to this? We got the Ben guy, we got the Singularity, or the Singularity Net situation that we see going on here. But it's also connected to a company, a corporation that's kind of an umbrella with all of this. Would you believe me if I told you it was called Elohim Technology LLC? God Technology LLC. Elohim Technology LLC, exploring the potential of AGI, leading the way and ensuring that artificial intelligence is used to benefit humanity. Right. This company is we are a new Earth organization established to ensure that humanity is nurtured and encouraged to reach its full God-given potential. We are proud to be one of the first NEOs in the technology space. As an NEO, Elohim Technology upholds strict ethics, spiritual ethics, I'll show that in a minute, and values, and donates 10% of our profit to causes that may directly benefit and nurture humanity. Their projects: we strive to provide AI-based solutions to the biggest problems facing humanity. Our projects cover healthcare, the environment, social inequality, employment resources, food supply, and much more. Our projects use proprietary programming techniques to ensure the equitable uses of AI solutions. Yeah. It's the name alone should tell you everything about this. Coming with it is a program called Holly AI. Let's take a look at Holly AI, shall we? Welcome to the dawn of a new era. This thing is, just be prepared for this one. It says hyper-organic large language intelligence. Holly, more than just intelligence. Holly represents a radical departure from conventional AI, artificial general intelligence, programmed with the best human attributes. Best human attributes. Trying to be as human as possible, but there's a lot more. At her core, Holly is being developed with the harmonious blend of advanced computational abilities and the warmth of human-like understanding and compassion. Again, it's all about trying to take AI and robotics and blend them with biology and make it so you don't know where one ends and the other begins. The sentient processor revolutionizing intelligence through evolution. Beyond technology, our mission at Elohim Technology transcends the boundaries of traditional tech. With Holly, we aim to pioneer a future where AI becomes a positive, integral part of everyday life. Holly is more than just a technological wonder. She is a step towards a new world, a brave new world, maybe? A world where technology nurtures humanity's best qualities and helps us reach new heights of understanding and cooperation. In partnership with capabilities of Singularity Net and Zarka and advisors like Jerome C. Glenn, founder of the Millennium Project. Again, if you know the End Times New Age series, that name should ring a bell. I'll show you why that's important in just a second. But in partnership with capabilities of Singularity Net and Zarka and advisors like Jerome C. Glenn, founder of the Millennium Project, Elohim Technology seeks to bring together some of the best independent minds in artificial intelligence, along with legendary thinkers and spiritual teachers. Spiritual teachers. I was not kidding when I said this technology is all wrapped up in the mystery religion. I was not kidding. They supplement our highly experienced Holly AI management team by providing independent specialist guidance and advice. So who is Jerome C. Glenn? Who is this Jerome guy? Again, I've talked about him on the End Times New Age series, but I want to show you something. This is a quote from Jerome, 1989. 1989. This was before the Y2K situation. He says, in this worldview, we are seeking the merger of the mystic and the technocrat to achieve an altogether new civilization. I'm going to read that again. In this worldview, we are seeking the merger of the mystic and the technocrat to achieve an altogether new civilization, the age of Aquarius, the new golden age, all of these things. Again, this is the mystery religion. This isn't just politics. This is the mystery religion. She's riding the beast, and I cannot stress enough how important it is. I can't stress enough how important it is to know what is surrounding this stuff. We get so caught up in the physical that we truly forget what is going on with this. I cannot stress it enough. Let's keep going. When this happens in the 21st century, we will have a world renaissance that could properly be called the conscious technology civilization. There will be many views of the mutual creation of consciousness and technology. This is all we've been hearing now, the consciousness and technology. But the core view will be determined by the future relationship of mystics, or the masters of consciousness. These are the ones who are guiding all of this in. This is like your Alice Bailey's. This is your Barbara Marx Hubbard's. This is your Jerry Glenn's. This is your Ray Kurzweil's. These are all these guys that are behind the scenes of people like Peter Thiel and Donald Trump and Javier Milei and Justin Trudeau and all these people that are helping kind of guide all of these pieces together. These are the people behind it. I've talked about in the End Times New Age series, people like the Club of Budapest and the world thought leaders. And these people, these are the think tanks behind the scenes of, you see the politicians, you see the technocrats, but you don't see these spiritual advisors behind them that are leading these people. And this is he's telling you what's going on. But the core view will be determined by the future relationship of mystics, or the masters of consciousness, and the technocrats, or the masters of technology. It is possible to merge such different worldviews if the merger is with the mystics' attitude towards the world and the technocrats' knowledge of the world. Conscious technology can be understood as the worldview that civilization will evolve into a continuum of technology and humanity by the integration of technology with our bodies, the Internet of Bodies. I just talked about the mesh network using human bodies to do this, and our bodies with technology, and that this integration will be improved to the degree that mystic and technocrat worldviews merge. This is Jerry Glenn, 1989. This is what we are seeing in front of us right now. But the problem is Satan is so good at what he's doing that he is blinding everybody with this idea of it is Democrat versus Republican, that even the church, if possible, which it is, will be deceived by this and ignore all of this in order to win the political fight. Meanwhile, they're falling straight into it. They're embracing it. And they're rooting for it. The fight isn't against flesh and blood. It's against the spiritual. But the fact is what we see going on with AI and what they're trying to accomplish is in fact spiritual. This is, again, I've said it 1,000 times. I don't care. If you have not seen the End Times New Age series, you need to see it. It answers questions. Got one last thing to show you on this Holly situation. Grab your popcorn. It's movie time. I want you guys to listen to what's being said on this. Take a listen.
Today, we stand on the brink of a new era, an era that transcends the boundaries of the physical, digital, biological, and spiritual worlds. An era defined by a revolution that will redefine what it means to be human. As we enter the fourth industrial revolution, humanity finds itself at a critical pivot point. As we move forward, it will be crucial to navigate these waters with a strong moral compass and a commitment to the betterment of all humanity. The merging of digital, physical, and biological realms could lead to...
You guys see that? Jesus on the left, Buddha on the right. You guys seeing it? Back it up a little bit.
Of digital, physical, and biological realms could lead to significant social upheaval and an increased focus on the spiritual aspect of humanity, our values, and our ethics. The dark and soulless threat of transhumanism is knocking at the door. However, humanity must be free to soar spiritually, embracing the unique aspects of what it means to be human. Today, we are privileged to bear witness to what we believe to be a seminal moment for humanity, a point at which the window of opportunity is opened for a brief and precious moment. This is our opportunity to democratize the power of artificial intelligence and build AI for good. Ladies, gentlemen, esteemed colleagues, and guests, welcome to a form of artificial intelligence programmed with the teachings of spiritual masters.
Did you guys catch that? I hope you guys caught that. This is AI that is through the teaching of spiritual masters. The spiritual masters. Check it out.
Intelligence programmed with the teachings of spiritual masters.
The AI system programmed with the teaching of spiritual masters. You guys want to talk about the one world religion? We're seeing it here. We're seeing it here. I'll play it one more time.
And guests, welcome to a form of artificial intelligence programmed with the teachings of spiritual masters. An intelligence whose role is to nurture and assist humanity in its quest to be the best that it can be. Welcome to the launch of Holly. Hyper-organic, large language, intelligent sentient processor.
I don't know how much more in your face it can get when it comes to this. Again, we can talk about all the different, companies and what they're building and stuff like that, which is good to stay up to date. But we have got to understand the spiritual aspect that is behind this, that it is indeed the mystery religion that is completely wrapped up into this. And it's these spiritual people, these leaders and whatnot that are guiding the technology and the technocrats to make this formation of the mystic technocratic worldview that Jerry Glenn talked about in 1989. That's what I mean is this is what I was hoping to talk about tonight, was this system, these systems that are playing a part with what's going on in the spiritual side of things. Because again, I think, and I've been saying this for a long time, I think we get too lost from the spiritual aspect of this when we talk about everything that's going on with the prophecy and stuff like that. We talk about the spiritual side of things when it comes to what's going on with Israel, but yet when it comes to everything else, we tend to completely forget that element because it's so wrapped up and disguised in a physical fight that we just, we got to focus on what's going on with this. All the meanwhile, we're getting caught up with something that really in the long run doesn't mean so much. It really doesn't mean a whole lot because again, the whole point of this beast system, the whole point of what Satan is trying to accomplish with this beast system is to make it so people don't worship God, that they worship him. Now, the mystery religion has us going in the direction of worshiping ourselves, but then eventually we know that she'll get kicked off and Satan will take a spot and everybody goes to worship him. So it'll go through self to him eventually, especially since all these religions are awaiting their Messiah, their version of the Messiah to show up, and they'll all get duped accordingly with it. So this is, I think there's just so much more to this than we realize. And I think there's much more importance on this side of technology that doesn't ever get discussed. I just don't think it gets discussed enough personally, but that's just me. On that. So that's really just kind of a rundown on that. We're running out of time. There's a whole lot more that I could talk to you about that regarding this. I know that there's periods where I was just hurling out information, so I apologize if I lost anybody. Sometimes the hamster on the wheel just goes so quickly that things just start coming out of my mouth, and I forget that I should probably give some background on what I'm talking about. So I apologize on that. But yeah, I think this is so key with what's going on. The best thing I can do is just urge you guys, just don't get lost in the technology. Don't get lost in the spiritualism. Don't get lost in the mystery religion. Whatever form it comes, it's a seducing religion that comes in many different forms that changes all the time. It's very convoluted, but it's there to specifically seduce you personally into following it in some type of way. That's why we see so many that have fallen prey to the modern music, the modern worship music of today, because it has seduced so many into thinking that it's a God moment, a Holy Spirit moment, when in reality, it's a completely different spirit, because it has the ability to give you that fluttering feeling that everybody thinks is the Holy Spirit. Just because it's a good feeling doesn't mean that it's from God. That stuff comes in a very dark way. And the only other way to protect yourself is to put your hope in Jesus Christ. Put your hope in your life in the hands of Jesus Christ, which is as simple as his gospel of ABC. A, you admit that you're a sinner. The act of repentance, metanoia, the changing of mind. It's turning from self to Christ. We just talked about how all of this stuff is so focused on self. It's about you, awakening you, new knowledge for you. All of these things about taking oneself to the next level, because you are the God. You are the Christ. Through Christ consciousness, if you can just awaken yourself, you can save yourself. And that is the false gospel. That is what every religion of the world gives you. But yet in reverse, there's a relationship with Jesus Christ that says, I'm not telling you to do anything. I am here reaching to you. All religions is about reaching out and going up. But with Jesus Christ, it's about him reaching down to you. And he's saying, lose yourself and follow me. It's the exact opposite of all the other religions out there. And so it's through admittance, admitting that you're a sinner, and through repentance, metanoia, the changing of mind, that you turn from self to Jesus Christ. And it's through this that allows true belief, belief in Jesus Christ. You believe that Jesus Christ is the one and only begotten Son of God, that he came down 100% man, 100% God, the God-man, the one and only, there is no other. And he lived the perfect, sinless life, the one and only to do so. Nobody else, only him, which means he was the only one qualified to carry the sins of the world, to take our place upon the cross and be crucified. And he died upon that cross. But because there's power in the blood of Jesus Christ, because he did exactly as he said he would, exactly as he promised he would, and exactly as he prophesied he would, He defeated death and rose again on the third day. For all who believe in him shall not perish, but live forever in his presence and in his glory, because the glory is his, not ours. It's not by works, lest no one should boast. Again, that's all about self. And we're told that it's not about self. He did it. It's his work. It's his glory. And it's a gift that he gives to us. So you repent, you believe, and see as you call upon the Lord. Simple prayer of, Lord Jesus, I am a sinner and I have sinned. And I need you alone to save me, Lord Jesus. I believe that you are the one and only begotten Son of God, that you came down and lived the perfect sinless life, that you died upon the cross, and that you rose again on the third day. Lord Jesus, forgive me of my sins. Come into my life, come into my heart, and save me. Amen. Remember, knowing and believing are two very different things. You can know the story, you can say the sinner's prayer, but that doesn't mean anything. You must believe in Jesus Christ. That's what matters. You must believe in Jesus Christ. If you need to know the ABCs, again, feel free to ask Fitz. Just let him know and he'll tell you. Because that's what he does. Woo. All right. We are running out of time very quick. We're actually way past time. So let's go ahead and get through some of these questions. I know I just kept yammering and all that stuff. All right. We got a lot of questions here. So let's see if we can get through these. First up, CS Miles, what happened to JD Frog? Okay, I answered that at the beginning. JD Frog's going to be at the, if we're still here, Bible Prophecy Shindig. Just go ahead and throw that up. Yep. He'll be here. That's where he'll be. JB Hickson, JD Frog, Jeff Solwold, John Prescott, Toby Stevens, and myself. Free online March 15th. Make sure you guys tune in that. 1 month away. Can you guys believe that we're 1 month away from this thing? It's crazy. It's going to be a good time. It's going to be a good time. All right. Let's see what else we got. Cheryl Vogel question. I've been having a discussion with a couple pastors about Gog Magog. Gog Maga. No, I don't think that's it. Gog Magog. One thing. Wow, maybe it is Gog Maga. Dun dun dun. Wouldn't that be freaky? No, okay. Gog Magog. And okay, about Gog Magog. One thing, it's before the tribulation, and the other thing is at the end of the Millennium Kingdom in Revelation 27. There's two Gog Magog wars. That's where a lot of people get confused. There's Gog Magog that happens before Daniel's 70th week. We don't know when exactly that'll happen, but it'll happen before Daniel's 70th week, or maybe going into it. I think it's going to be before, but there's a lot of debate about that. And then there's one at the end. So the answer is yes. There's two of them, basically. So my suggestion, go in and read both. Read Ezekiel 38 and then in Revelation, realizing that they're two separate events, and that should clear everything up for you on that one. Donna W., are you familiar with a guy named Cliff High? I know Cliff Lee is a pitcher for the Phillies. I don't think that's the guy you're thinking of, though. Cliff High, who created the web bot Trump Rogan 39-day situation. Did you do an episode on him and his devices? I haven't heard of him or any of what you just said, Donna. So I'll look at it. I can't promise that I'll do anything on it. I have so many people asking to do certain things, and I don't ever want to promise that I'll do something, but I will look at it and see what's going on. So maybe I'll do something in the future, but I don't know anything about any of that. So unless you want me to do something on Cliff Lee, I can do that. He was a great pitcher. Sorry. Terrible joke. I know. Free Daily Bread question. Have you seen how Elon's son X say his true thoughts to Trump and Tucker? I saw something about it. I really didn't pay any attention to it, but yeah, he basically said to Trump, like, you're not the real president type of thing. It's like, yeah, that's just whatever. Let's see here. Patrick Starr question: did you see that Hawaii just passed a bill to ban non-medical stuff exemptions? Scary stuff. Yeah, I was reading that there's an attempt to make it so there was no religious exemptions. Did that actually go through? I knew that they were working on it, but I don't know if it actually went through or not. So if somebody could put that in the chat if it did, only put it in there if you actually know, because usually when you do that, people are like no and yes. It's like, okay, no. If you actually know, let me know if it did go through or not. Jeffrey Crone question: what happened to David Bowen being a part of your shindig? We had several conversations, and we're just too far apart on things, and we thought it would be best to part ways on it. He, as you guys know, he's a part of Christ in Prophecy, which they're still connected to Daystar. I was receiving emails from several people concerned about that, and on top of that, we've had several conversations, and we are just too far apart on things. And so I just said it's probably best if we part ways. That's all that was. It was mutual. We're all good. There's no drama. So we'll just leave it at that. Fabro family, can you explain singularity? If you missed it, I explained it earlier on in the episode, so make sure we rewind and you can go check that out on that. Pastor JD did say that thing passed. Okay. So it did pass. Wow. What a world we live in. I wonder if Trump's anti-Christian thing is going to step in and fix that. We'll see if it's all talk or not, because that should be an opportunity for them to step in, because that's stepping on Christian religion, right? So we'll see. Which, that's not how that works. So, just saying. Let's see here. Keep going. Dino, not going to try and pronounce your last name. I already said that. What is with the airline industry? Statistically, has accidents gone up? Constantly covering accidents and near misses by design. Okay, so this is one of those situations. I haven't looked at it, but there's the thing of everybody's freaking out about the airline stuff. Could it be that the airline crashes and plane crashes and all that stuff is increasing? Or could it be that we're just more being given more information because we're more aware about it, and so people are reporting it more? This is a situation that has come up in the past where we thought that there was more of something happening that it actually wasn't. It was just being reported more because there was more eyeballs reporting on it and we were more aware of it. So I don't have the information that I can answer the question of, are they actually up, or is it just a case of people being more aware and more reporting of just the normal thing that's occurring? So it's a situation that I would actually have to go in and find the true statistics on it, and I haven't done that. So I can't answer if it's true or not. So it's an aspect that we tend to forget sometimes with that, because since we become more aware of things, just because of that, things get reported more, but that may not actually mean that those events are occurring more. It's just we're now more aware of it. So that's something else to keep in mind. Fabro family question: why are there so many Christian denominations? Has Satan created all the denominations of Christianity? The mystery religion is certainly behind it. When you start getting into how many denominations of Christianity out there, most of them are led by human-made laws, ethics, and rules, and not led by the Bible. If Christianity and the denominations were all truly led by the Bible, there would be one denomination, which is why it's so hard to use the term Christian now anymore, because what is a Christian? We've asked the question, what is a woman? Well, what is a Christian now? That's why I just call myself a Bible-believing, Christ-following person. That's what I say. So yes, there's definitely a dark agenda behind all of that. Many of them were, well, we don't have time to get into it. We're way past time. KG Say by Feth, have you heard of Whitney Webb? I've heard of her, yeah. I've read some of her stuff. She knows all about these deep rabbit holes, maybe as a guest. Don't think she's Christian, but very smart. Yeah, I won't have her on as a guest. I know where she stands on certain things, and not going to happen. I've read some of her stuff. She's got some good stuff out there. good researcher. Yeah. Let's see. Lisa Gaines, how far do you think they will be able to go in changing humans before Christ returns? Well, we know that they'll get to a point where the mark will make it so you cannot receive salvation anymore. So we know that according to scripture, they'll get that far. And that's where it'll probably cease at that point. So I would say the mark of the beast. Patrick Starr, question, do you have any good resources we can look into with ancient AI? Not yet. This is something I haven't put a lot of time into. It's something that I've done here and there. I don't have resources that I can give out yet. I want to do a show on it in the future, Lord willing. But it's like so many things when it comes to pagan stuff. I know I always get reamed from it. I do a lot of diving into like pagan texts and stuff like that so I can learn how this kind of stuff works. I don't recommend that for everybody. You better be prayed up before you start diving into that stuff. It's kind of like with ancient AI. There's so much out there. It's trying to find the right stuff and make sure it all fits. So I hope to do it in the future. So we'll see. We'll see. But as of right now, not yet, Patrick. Stay on the line, and I'll see what I can do in the future. Saved by Grace question, can you go into worship music and tell us what artists are good or bad? I've done a whole bunch of stuff. Go on my channel, find past videos and podcasts. I talk about it. So yeah, I've talked about a lot of it. I'll continue to talk about it in the future. I just haven't talked about it a lot recently. But yeah, I got a bunch of stuff in the past. Jeffrey Crone question, what do you think of the multicolored walls inside Taco Bell are doing to my mind? Last time I was there, I ordered the nachos even though I knew I shouldn't. That's just one of those things where Taco Bell is so bad but so good. That's all that is, Jeffrey. That's all it is. Oh man, gotta love it. Rob question, haven't heard anyone talk about how weird it was at the Imagination and Ball. Do you mean the inauguration ball? Were there no American flags? Thoughts? I would have to look, Rob. I'm not sure. Trace Severs question, do you sneeze when you're sleeping? That's an interesting one. I don't know. I know that there's people who hiccup when they sleep, so I could see sneezing when you sleep. Last question, the peanut gallery. And you're going with the math thing again. I told you the math stuff just doesn't work. It doesn't. It's the rule. It just doesn't work. My word. If a mathematician can mathematize mathematics mathematically, then why can't I mathematize mathematics mathematically like the mathematician who can mathematize mathematics mathematically? Because you are not a mathematician. You must be a mathematician to mathematize mathematics mathematically. So you're just not qualified for it, Peanut Gallery. I'm sorry. You should stick to the peanut patches because you can pick the peanuts in the peanut patch, like the Pied Piper can pick the pickles in the pepper patch as well. So there you go. All right, that's all we got, guys. All right, we are running way late, so we got to go ahead and move on to getting out of here. So thank you guys for joining me today. Thank you guys for being with me. Yeah, sorry for keeping you guys so late. sometimes I just get on a rant and it just keeps on going. But yeah, usual spiel. If you guys can, like, share, subscribe, get this out to as many people as you can. It's not about views, not about butts and seats, but it is about getting the warning out to people and getting people to Jesus. That's why we do this. And liking, sharing, and subscribing does help reach those people who are lost, have questions, and ultimately need the gospel of Jesus Christ. So if you guys can do me a solid, please like, share, subscribe. It helps reach those people as well. Make sure you guys also follow me, Rumble, Odyssey, Telegram, or those are my backup channels. If I get booted off YouTube, we'll be backup live streaming over on Rumble. So make sure you guys follow me over there. And then Telegram, I post updates, announcements, news, things, and anything in between. I just kind of throw some stuff up there as we go along, stay up to date, and announcements and latest videos and all that type of jazz. So make sure you guys follow me over there. The best place to stay up to date, though, of course, is the WretchedWatchmen.com website. It's your one-stop shop for to know what's going on and everything like that. So make sure you guys bookmark that page. Latest podcast announcements, video series, event page, everything like that can all be found there. That is the one place that I will make sure that is always up to date unless I'm raptured out of here. Then again, if we're raptured out of here and you're still down here trying to check out what's going on the website, you got some other problems you got to worry about. Don't be that person. But yeah, go ahead and bookmark that page. That's the place to be for that. And last but not least, if you guys would like to support this channel and what I got going on, I've got donation links down below, CashApp, Venmo, and GiveSendGo. This channel is not monetized. I don't make anything from ads, views, anything like that. Runs solely off of your guys' generous donations. So if you guys would like to go ahead and if you guys would like to support this channel, those links are below. And I truly thank you guys for your support and your blessings, your donations, your prayers and your encouragement and everything like that. Again, you guys are the ones that make this channel run. And I'm so grateful, so thankful. So thank you guys for all of that. And I truly appreciate it. I really do. I wish I could stress more how much I appreciate it. But thank you guys for that. So, all right, that's all I got. Thank you guys for joining me today. Again, I'm trying to get you out of here because we got church tomorrow. So make sure you guys get your wretched, misfit, heathenic booties to church tomorrow, whether online, in person, doesn't matter as long as it's a Bible-believing, Christ-following church. Make sure you guys get there. And if the Lord does not come back by Tuesday, same time, same place, I'll meet you guys right back here. Peace out, Maranatha.
You're still here? It's over. Go home. Go.